Come get to know your girl. There's a lot going on in her world. There's enough for you to get a view
of everything that's Keda's Brew.
From health, beauty, food, and crypto, these are the things you'll get to know. So come find the brew
that's right for you. Then you'll know what to do. Come get to know your girl. There's a lot going on in her world. There's enough for you to get a view of everything that's Keda's Brew. Keda's Brew will change your perspective, give you food for thought in the right direction, show you things to move the scale and help you out with every detail. Change your perspective, give you food for thought in the right direction, show you things to move the scale and help you out with every detail.
Come on, get to know your girl.
Come on, get to Come on, get to know your girl. There's a lot going on in her world. There's enough for you to get a view. It's everything that's Keda's Brew.
What up, everybody? I am sorry about the intro, but it seems like it just didn't want to play for me today, and that's okay. I'm your girl, Keda, and I am here with Keda's Brew TV, and today we are going to talk about my weight loss journey. For you all that don't know me, I'm Nikita Maxwell. I am the creator of Keda's Brew and Keda's Brew TV. And I wanted to talk to you about one of the things that's really, really prevalent in my mind, which happens to be health. And for me, I will say that I have had definitely a very interesting journey with health and weight loss and, just being healthy and all the things. And I do want to give a shout out to the folks that have come in to hang out with me today, Thunderbird Media, Thunderbird World Media, as well as Queen of the Nile. Welcome in, and the 8 others that are watching here. Being healthy is very important. I always say that your health is your wealth. And I know for me, I have always been into really wanting to make sure that I am as healthy as possible, not just for myself, but for my family and for those that I care for and that care for me. And so much so that later on in life, I decided to become a nurse. But well before that, I had to also deal with my own health. And not that I wasn't a healthy person. I've always been very healthy as a child, never had allergies or any type of illnesses or anything like that. However, as cute as I was as a little girl, this is a picture of me as a little girl, I always had those chubby cheeks and, just a pretty jolly type of vibe ever since I was a little girl. And this is a picture of me. I think I was maybe a year and a half old. And, my mom, she wanted a little girl. My brother was first, and, she wanted a little girl, and I was her little girl. And so for her, she really made sure that I had like all of the cutest little things. And, my mom, she grew up in New York. So, everybody trying to take stuff. So what she would do is she would put my initials on all of my clothing. So anything that I had on had my initials on it, which was super cute. But yes, this was me as a little girl. Not much has changed. Pretty much the same face, just older and bigger, as you can see, I've got chubby cheeks and all the things, but I was also super duper healthy. From the time I've always been very healthy as a horse. And so because of that, Because of that, I also, whenever I would be in eating or anything, what I have to tell you is get out now and close the door. Every single time I decide I want to open my mouth to start a show, that's when he decide he want to walk in the door and ask me something. Every time it's kids, it's every single time. Anyways, back to the story. All right, so for myself, I have always been a chunky kid. You know what I'm saying? I was a big girl. No big deal. Go through school, and all of the things, and you know when you are a bigger kid, people tend to treat you a certain way or be a certain way with you. I kind of was the type of person that kind of kicked that thought process out the door. Um, I was very disarming. So I was the type of kid that I was friends with everybody. It didn't matter who it was. I didn't care what group you were hanging out with, who you were partying with, who you were hanging out after school with. I didn't care. I was like, look, if you're cool, we cool. So as I got older, I was active. I've always been active. I'm the type of person, I really like sports. I was never really a sports girl though. Like I didn't do sports in school. I was that artsy fartsy kid. So I'm the person that was in choir. Even in band, you got marching band. So you gonna get some exercise. So I really wasn't an exercise person in school. After I got out of school, I had moved to New York, which is kind of interesting because you do a lot more walking in New York than not. But I did notice that I did start to gain weight. Okay. And I moved to New York when I was 18. And at some point, my weight ballooned. And I was like, wow, you girl, you doing a little bit too much, you know. It was to the point where um, I was having issues just being able to walk for long distances. And in New York, that's pretty much most of what you're doing is walking. Yes, there are buses. Yes, there are trains, but for the most part, you are very ambulatory. And that was good in some ways. So I did have good cardiovascular, health. Never had an issue there. Um, but my weight was one of those things. And I've never really been a big eater. Those that are around me, that see me eat, they're like, dang, girl, you don't hardly eat at all. That's just how it is. And I've always been like that. So I just couldn't get the weight off. And at one point, I had joined New York Sports Club. And I had started to, one day I was just like, oh, I want to get in the gym. I want to do some things. And that was a great experience. I learned that I like to spin. I like to get on the bike and spin and do all those exercises and really love that. I love to do step aerobics. Step was amazing and fun and just a joy to do because it was like jamming, you know what I mean? Great music, really cool steps. And if you got them right and wasn't all over the place and bumping into people, then I really enjoyed it, and really did well, lost a lot of weight while I was in there. I was trying to find that picture back in the day when I was there because my face was all chunky and things, but I couldn't find it. But I did end up at a point where my weight had ballooned to about 326 pounds. And I was about 23, 24 years old. And I tried just about everything under the sun in order to be able to lose weight. And it was unsuccessful. And so I had been watching Oprah Winfrey, and she had a doctor on there by the name of Dr. Wynn. And this woman was on there talking about weight loss surgery. And I was like, well, that's a thought process. We'll see if that's something that I can do. And the job that I was working for there had pretty good insurance. And so what I did was I did go and get a consultation and spoke with the physician, and she thought I would be a good candidate for weight loss surgery. And this was back in the day. Okay. This is back in the day where they were doing the Roux-en-Y, which is actually a real gastric bypass. And a gastric bypass is where they cut the stomach, make a smaller, smaller pouch stomach, and still had a larger stomach there that had digestive fluids that could help to digest, food. Well, I did go through that whole process, and and it was rigorous. I had to see a nutritionist. I had to see a psychologist as well, because in a lot of instances, what tends to happen is there are people that are holding weight, and they're holding weight because of psychological issues. Okay, they may be resorting to eating to stave off some type of issue that they have emotionally. So it was very interesting for me to go in and have these types of conversations with a psychologist where they're asking me questions like, well, do you have any problems making friends? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. That I don't have a problem with. Oh, well, do you have a problem with the opposite sex? No, I don't have a problem with that neither. Okay, well, do you think that you'll be able to handle your problems once you get this surgery because you can't use food? I said, well, I don't eat that much, so it shouldn't be a problem for me. So they did approve me. They did go ahead and say that I can, go ahead and do this surgery. And I did. I did do it at the point where, like I said, I was 326 pounds when I had this particular surgery. For the most part, it was successful. I did have a hiccup in the very beginning. I did actually have a problem. I was having a problem being able to hold down food. I would eat something, and the next thing you know, it would come right back up. I couldn't drink anything. Nothing would stay down. And after about a day or so, I realized I was having an issue, and I didn't know what that issue was, but I knew it wasn't right. And so I made my way to the doctor's office. I actually called them first and asked for an emergency appointment because I was like, look, I don't know what's happening here, but this is not good. I can't even hold down water and something's wrong. And so I did go in to see her. And when I came in, I think that she was, thinking that I was kind of conflating things a little bit. And so she's like, well, I've done some tests and I'm not seeing anything. And I was like, well, listen, I'm telling you, something is not right. And so she did actually do some lab work. And when she did the lab work, she could tell that I was very dehydrated and that something was, in fact, wrong. And so she actually didn't even allow me to leave the hospital. She actually had me go downstairs to the ER and to go into, and I actually was admitted into the hospital that day. When I was admitted to the hospital, they did some testing and took a look and saw that there was something blocking one of the areas that had been adjusted. And then they said, okay, well, we're going to have to do another surgery. But until we're able to do that surgery, I'm going to need to put in a tube to actually take some of the fluid off of the larger stomach where the actual blockage was. And so I did end up going to the hospital. They tell me I'm going to, have some local anesthetic, and they'll be able to put me into the CT or the CAT scan, and they would be able to put this tube in so I could have some relief from the pain that I was having in my stomach. And they put this anesthetic in, and I felt every single thing. everything, every bit of it. And unfortunately, you know, it still had to happen regardless of whether I felt it or not. So from that vantage point, I was like, look, this is uncomfortable. And I have a very high tolerance for pain, very, very high tolerance. And this was bad. And I was like, look, y'all need to do something because I can't even sleep. I can't even breathe right now. Like I don't even want it because it was going through my rectus abdominis, and which is your abdominal muscles. And so every time you breathe in or breathe out, those muscles engage. And so now you have a foreign object that is cutting through it. Yeah, it's not very comfortable. So a friend of mine had to intervene and was like, look, she's not comfortable and you've got to do something. And thank you for reposting this space, Steak and Bake Bully. Appreciate you. So from that vantage point, you know, they did give me a medication that was able to allow me to rest and get some sleep. And when they finally did do the surgery, they said, you know, it took us longer to put you to sleep than it was for us to fix the issue. African Americans tend to have a little bit of a superpower, and that superpower is overhealing. They call it keloiding. Okay. I had the same phenomenon happen inside the body where this happened. So it ended up being very, very interesting because all they had to do was snip that little bit of flesh and it was literally fixed. So thankfully, it did work itself out. Once I did end up having that particular surgery, I did lose about 105 pounds at that point. And when I did lose that amount, I ended up feeling great, but I still didn't get under 200 pounds. Okay. I still was over 200 pounds, but realize, let me put this in context. Okay. I am literally almost 6 foot tall. So that might look a little bit different on me than it may look on other people. So from that vantage point, I did do well with it for a while. And as with anything, you still have to make sure you're maintaining it, you know, and I still was never a large eater or anything like that, but I did start to gain back weight. Okay. And at one point, I did end up gaining quite a bit, to the point of looking like this. Yes, that's your girl. That's me sitting on a couch on Thanksgiving. And I think I saw this picture and said, oh, no, 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 no. We can't do this. We cannot. No. It was, I was like, girl, look, do you see these shenanigans right now? This was me. I was about to perform at a gig with the band. And I'm like, see, no, we can't do that. Okay. So your girl decided that on Thanksgiving Day, I decided that I was going to take the bull by the horns, and I legitimately went down to 24-hour fitness and I joined the gym. That very first day that I joined the gym, I did a Zumba class, and it was the first time that I worked out again. And after 24-hour fitness, this is here in Texas now. And the beauty of that was I found the love again of working out. Okay. And I'm one of these people that I tend to go ham on something. So I was in every time they had a Zumba class, I was there every time. And I was using the old school, Body for Life workout with Bill Phillips, a pyramid of, stepping up your weights and lowering the repetitions and then supersetting the last exercise of that particular body part. And I would do that. And I was in the gym 6 days a week, easy, 6 days a week. Every day I was there, 5 to 7, every Monday through Friday. And then on Saturdays, I was there from 9 to 11 o'clock in the morning, because no, 10 to 12, because there were two Zumba classes that were back to back. So I was in there like Flynn, in there, no lie, every single time. Okay. And what was good about it was, you start to meet people and do, these types of things. And what I loved about Zumba was it was the first thing that I could do, that I could work out, and it felt like a party, and I was expending a crazy amount of calories every single time I worked out, and danced with Miss Lilia from 24-hour fitness. And I call her my little Mexican jumping bean, because I swear she was just the littlest thing, but she was jumping all over the place and just hype. You want somebody that's going to hype you up. You know what I'm saying? I need that. So we did have that. And I was there every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday for Zumba. Okay. Every single week without fail. And I'm standing right in the front of the room. I don't care how tall I was. Them little girls were so short behind me. Ooh, they were so mad because I was right in the front. But I'm like, but if I'm in the front, you can see. You can see what the movements are. And I had it down. Okay. So from that vantage point, I had another young lady that came to me, and she's like, you know what? You need to come and hang out you need to get into this Les Mills body pump class. I guarantee you it'll change your life. And no lie, I did. I really did. I went and took a Les Mills body pump class, and it's a barbell class that you take that does moderate weight, but the transitions are so fast that it also incorporates like actual aerobic activity in it as well. So I got into that and really loved it. Lots of, you see the same people every single time. Every single time they had it, you had your favorite, you had your favorite instructors. It was all about time under tension. There weren't a whole lot of breaks, none of that, but it was amazing. And one of the instructors that I worked with quite extensively, her name was Kim, and she's amazing. So inspiring, such a great instructor. And what I ended up doing was I ended up going and getting certified. And so I ended up taking the course. I ended up getting certified. Where is it? Where did I put it? I know I had the picture. I must have taken it off of here. But when I did get certified, I got certified to teach at 24-hour fitness with a class full. And when Kim told me, come and do this, she was like, you need to do this because you don't really understand how many people you inspire by coming into this gym every single day without fail. They see your face, they see your wins, they see your losses, and you are doing what you need to do in order to take your health back. And so I did do that, and I was thankful for it. And along the way, made some amazing friends, did some great things. Back in the day, this was me right before I would go and, and do a show. Okay. Yes, that's a wig. I never had hair like that, but I never did that. But this is what ended up happening. I went hardcore. When I say I went in, I went in. Okay. To the point where, my mom was like, oh, okay, you can stop now. You proved your point. You can stop. And I was like, but I'm saying though, why should I stop? I was like, I'm healthy. At that time when I was doing this is right after a Zumba class. We had done 2 hours in the class. And for me, I could go through 2 classes and still be vibrant and still be hyped up and all the things. And I was like, well, why should I stop now? I'm healthy. I'm strong. I was like, and not only that, I was eating 6 times a day, like legit 6 times a day. From the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep, I was eating all day. Smaller portions, of course, but still eating. And, I was like, I'm going to tell you what I said to my mom. It was, at the time I was like, ooh, because, I really try not to be very, be disrespectful ever. But I was like, I find it interesting that, you have all this concern for me when you had nothing to say when my fat ass was sitting on your couch. Where's all this concern now? I'm not understanding this. Now, I don't know if I was smaller, so I was less the hug or something of that nature. But I just was like, look, this is me. This is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. And this is what I'm going to do, And so for me, I did continue to work out. And you could see it when I would be in like gigs and things like that, the difference between what I looked like before as to what I look like now. And in me working, it was difficult to be able to get to the gym the way that I wanted to, the way that I want to now, and the way that I am now. Because I'm very, very diligent when it's time for me to go work out. Like, that's why I don't normally have like workout partners. Like, I've never really been one for a workout partner. One, because yes, we're here to inspire people, but I am never here to make you do something. That's not what I'm here for. You should have the same type you should have the same type. Really, I understand, Mom, but I'm in the middle of a show. Come on, Mom. Really? I love you, Mom, but every time, without fail, if it's not the kid, it's Mom. Every time, every single time, every time. And she don't, and her words exactly, I don't give a shit. And she don't. It's okay. Piss and vinegar all the time. Anyway, back to the show. So when it comes down to it, sometimes I just have to laugh. Oh boy. I know, Steak. It's like no F's to give whatsoever. Not even one. Not even one. Okay. So basically when it comes down to it, most recently, I had been working for a job, and I had been talking about I'm gonna retire by the end of the year. And some of it was also to take back my health and my own strength, because when you're sedentary, your body's like, nah, sis, you ain't supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be out there doing what you need to do. And so for me, since I've been gone, I have been in the gym like clockwork. I get up in the morning, I go to the gym, and then I come in, and then I sit down, and I'm in, Stone's Coffee and Crypto in the morning. I got to get my smoothie first, though. I got to get my, my recovery, smoothie, because you got to make sure you get your good nutrition in, you know. And I do have to give a shout out to the 39 people that are hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for being here with all of the shenanigans. My son, my mom, the whole fam bam. Like, I literally should have just like a show, like walking around the house and just letting people hear all the shenanigans that happen around here. I don't think that she would like that, though. I don't think I should do that. So, for me right now, it has been a great journey. I am constantly looking for new ways to be able to be better, do better. And some of it is not necessarily just for myself, but also for, to be able to do that for my kids. They need that example. I'm like that with everything that I do, whether it's me going back to school, whether it's me trying to be healthy, eat healthy. So the things that I'm doing right now with the garden in the backyard and being able to grow the food that I'm eating, those types of things. Like, for instance, I've been working on my soil, put some potash out there, and planted some potatoes today. Why? Because it's that time. And I want my first earlies. So I'm going to put that out so that this spring I will have my potatoes coming in. And I'm super excited about that. My fitness journey hasn't ended. My objective right now is to get back into get back into shape enough to teach again, maybe at 24-hour fitness, because that's where I'm going. But it's one of the things that I am so in tune with. Our health is our wealth. And in this instance, when we are looking at these digital assets and cryptocurrencies, I know some of the things that have happened in the last few years have really taken a toll on our health. All of the things that they're putting into the food, the trifecta of what makes you feel satiated, the fat, the salt, and the sugar. This is what they're putting in everything. Everything. Regardless of whether you want it or not. Okay? The only way that you can get away from it is to cook your own food and grow your own food. You grow your own food, you're able to control what goes in your soil. You're able to control where you got your seeds from. You're able to control whether you're able to get heirloom seeds or seeds that have been genetically modified. Those GMOs, yes. This is the only way that we can ensure what we're eating, how we're eating, even when it comes to meat, being able to source where that meat comes from, being able to even go to the actual cattle rancher or pig farmer or chicken farmer, whoever that is, that you get your eggs from. Because I'm not going to lie, I have gotten farm fresh eggs. The ones that you literally can sit on the counter and not have to refrigerate them. And they still keep. These are the things that they are not teaching our kids. And a lot of what I'm doing right now is everything that I can in order to be able to make sure that my kids get the best of everything that they need, and so I wanted to share what I've been doing and how I've been doing it, just because I know there are other people out here that are having the same type of struggle I am. I know that there's people that are, that are not good. And right now, everything that they're putting out there, all the food that's readily available that you don't have to cook yourself, has so many things at it that can make you sick. And they know it. And they're trying to get you to have that. And just to let you know, there was an issue with YouTube. So I'm not really sure whether or not the people on YouTube are even seeing this stream. Um, because I have a little question mark here, and I don't, because it didn't play my intro or anything like that earlier, so I'm not really sure whether or not you're seeing it on YouTube. I'm only getting everything from X, which is totally fine too. So I'm hoping that everybody is seeing it, and I will probably put it on. I'll probably just, send it over to YouTube if it's not there. Um, yeah, because that sucks, but it is what it is. And it happens. I'm not sure what was happening with it, why it's not doing what it needs to do, but it is obviously filming to X and on IMU TV because I see the little green checks there. But those that's the main thing. Right now, I feel really good. I feel really healthy. I even have like a vibration plate for lymphatic drainage, and I'm trying just a little bit of everything, and not saying that I need a little bit of everything, but you see things and you're like, let me try it out and see if it's going to do something for you. So I do want to give a shout out for all of those that are watching on the X app. I see you, Zach. I see you, Steak and Bake Bully, Thunderbird World Media. Thank you all for being here. It is always appreciated. I appreciate you. And you know what, Steak, let me tell you, I started my garden not this past year, but the year before. So this past year was my second year, gardening. And what I will say to you is the best thing that I ever did was buy the square foot gardening method. That's where I started off with, because in that book, it taught me how to make my own soil mix for containers, for bags, all of those types of things. Yeah, I figured it's not streaming on YouTube. So that's one of the main things that I did, was buy that book, The Square Foot Gardening Method. And it was so, so, so integral for me. I learned about companion planting, being able to grow a large amount in a small space, a 4 by 4 by 4. And that was what it is, a 4 by 4 square foot garden. I was able to plant 16 plants, 16 different quadrants that had 16 different types of plants. You can do like all kinds of things on there. You know what I mean? And so that was great. It was a great start for me because it allowed me to really take that in my own hands and allow for me to learn more about it. So I was super duper excited about that. It has been the best thing. I've learned how to grow sweet potatoes. I've learned how to grow potatoes. I've learned how to grow onions, staples that we use almost every day in the house. Onions and everything from tomatoes, and I was growing melons, honeydews, cantaloupes, watermelons, the smaller crimson reds, and some of the larger ones. I think I'm going to go back to the lab with that one, the larger ones, because they are real big feeders. They need a lot of fertilizer and things of that nature. Learned how to make, how to use fish emulsion and different other fertilizers, and learning what different plants need for, for growing and for them to flourish. Your herbs and how they grow. And, it's so awesome. I learned about having a smaller footprint. So outside of my raised beds, I also have towers. I have green stalks that I actually plant in. And these green stalks are literally in a 1 foot footprint, like literally 1 foot, but 7 tiers high. So that means I can plant 42 plants because each tier has 6 places for you to plant a plant. And so I can plant 42 different plants in one green stalk, and I have 3 of them. So you can imagine the things, especially my herb one. I have one that I have a little bit of everything: parsley, oregano, all kinds of thyme, basil, eggplants, and eggplants and peppers, all kinds of peppers, hot peppers, chili peppers, Tabasco, all kinds of things like that. I've grown squash. I've grown, all kinds of different types of vegetables, and I get to use those in my kitchen. The craziest thing was the first time that, I needed some time, and I walked outside and cut some off of off of the plant and came back and washed it off and used it. And my mom was like, "What'd you do? Where'd you go?" "I went to go get the thyme outside." So that's where I went. you know. And there's something to be said about how fresh it feels or how fresh it tastes when you're growing it outside. A homegrown vegetable smells and tastes 10 times better than what you get in a grocery store. And you get to control the nutrients. Make your own compost in the backyard out of scraps that you cook with, right? Any vegetable can be great compost. Something that you can compost like straight up. So for me, it's a beautiful thing. I can't complain at it, and I'm thankful that I have that curiosity to be able to say, I'm going to do this. I'm not just going to allow for, it to be somebody else's, responsibility for my health. I have to take my own health into play. So I think that I've really been on top of that. This year I got a chance to use sweet potatoes in my sweet potato pie, and, made a lot of different things in this house with things that came straight out of the garden. So I can't complain at it, and I won't complain at it, Any questions about anything? And, one of the things that I did note that, a lot of times people will have a lot to say concerning people that have had weight loss surgery and things of that nature. And what I will say is this: weight loss surgery is a tool. It's not the end all be all see all. Obviously, I've had 2. If it was the end all be all see all, 1 would have been fine, right? So I'm not saying that it's the end all be all see all, but it is a tool to get you kick started. You have to maintain it. You have to make the decision, make the choice to do better. You have to, okay? And it doesn't mean that you have to gauge yourself against somebody else's health and somebody else's, level of fitness. You have to work with what your level of fitness is. Man, listen, I ain't got 20-year-old knees. I really don't. And because I know that I don't trip about the fact that I got to work on that knee strength. I have to work on that knee flexibility. I have to, when it's time for me to do squats, I'm very careful. Worst thing, I didn't seen way too many videos of people dropping the daggone weights on themselves because they can't get it together. So for me, I definitely want everybody to be healthy. You already know that I'm a nurse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to be trying to make sure that people have the right information so that they can do, education is key. And it's one of the things that nurses are required to do is to teach people how to do better, how to be better, all of those things. So because of that, I have really taken it upon myself to not just do it for myself, but also be the example for anybody else that is thinking about it and wanting to do better and those types of things. So from my vantage point, um, oh, okay. Okay, I see what happened. So, when it comes down to it, it's a really important thing for me. And for me, my kids, I'm it. I'm all they got. So I got to be here for them. I got to make sure that they're good. I got to make sure that they can go into this world with the best information, with the best understanding of what to and what not to do. And that is important. I do want to give a big shout out to IMU TV. Um, I learned earlier today that IMU TV, with the launch of the ability to download the app through Google Play Store, it has put us into 45 different countries. Remember how I used to say it was only 30? It's 45 now, with over 4 billion subscribers just through Google Play. Doesn't mean that every single last one of them have downloaded the IMU TV app. However, that allows for those 4 billion people to be given that type of information. So because of that, I had to give them a big shout out for all of the work that they have been doing in order to make sure that independent artists, educators, artists can be seen all over the world. So I'm thankful for that. So thank you to Niall Cottrell, Fitzy, and then also Rob Nichols. Thank you all for that, for taking the time and the chance on the people for the XRPL. I do want to give you all the information that I will be having an after space at 10:10 Eastern Standard on the X app, and you can join in the conversation. We can chat it out, talk about the good stuff, and you can let me know what you are working on. What's your favorite workout? What is your favorite workout? Like, what kind of things do you like to do to work out? Keep it clean. Oh, sorry, I'm silly. You already know I'm silly. But yeah, my goal is to up my water intake. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I don't drink enough water. It doesn't look like it, but I don't drink enough water. I know I don't. I'll work on that. I'll work on it. We'll see. I've got like 10, well, not even 10 minutes. I've got like probably like another 8-9 minutes. We'll see. And I know there's no stream on YouTube, and that's okay. I'm sorry. That sucks. But I think it's probably user error. That's a key to thing. I saw more than one stream, and I deleted one, and I think I deleted the wrong one. So, and that's probably what the reason why it's not there, but I'll send it back. Don't worry. Um, and right now, I'm also really super interested in what's happening this year. Your girl is boots to this ground and out here cutting up. I made it to two actual barbershops today. Okay. And put beard oil in the hands of barbers here in the Fort Worth area. These are local barbers near me. And I'm super excited about being able to have the beard oil with the Bearded Ape Society in their establishment being used on their consumers and customers. And so I'm excited about that. We have some wonderful IRL events that are happening. Fort Lauderdale is coming up in a couple of weeks. And so we will be there. I'll be bringing some beard oil and some beef tallow while I'm there. So I'm super excited about that. And I'll get to see my magical internet friends and hang out with them and network and learn more about financial planning with Alan Stone. And then Alan, what did I said Stone. It's Alan Staple. Count it to my head, not my heart. And you know, it's super exciting. It'll be on the 30th and 31st of this month. We will be in a beautiful airport hangar. And this is where the event will be. And then from there, there'll be a barbecue the very next day for the families. So I think it's going to be a really great experience. I'm excited to hang out with my magical internet friends and run through this Florida experience. And then we will have, XRP Las Vegas. That's coming up in April. And then in August, we have the Sholo event in Cancun, which is going to be the XRPL Cancun, because this is a community event and we will have performers. We will be out there. You'll get a little bit of Keda's Brew, and I'll be bringing some beard oil as well and some beard balm. So I'm super excited about that. We'll see about the soap. I should bring out some soap too, huh? Yeah, I'll bring out some soap as well. So I think it's going to be a great experience. And I'm hoping that you all will be there as well. Bring your family because this is an all-inclusive resort that has a 400-meter pool. Where have you been that you've had a 400-meter pool? Very, very interesting. Those that are going to the event, I'm sure that you'll get set up with the WhatsApp chat. It's very, 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 very active. Folks are very active in there. I'm not mad at it. I'm actually super excited about it and super excited to hang out with Steak and Bake Bully and Mr. Zam and Optimistic Prime and Miss World Be Free. We'll also have Stone there and Lady K. Yeah, it's going to be a party. It's going to be a great time. It is. And I'm super excited. And from that vantage point, I think it's going to be a great time. I'm so thankful for you to, for you all to come out and hang with me and learn more about me and my journey. We're all works in progress. I know I am all the time. I'm always working to progress and be better and do better, make good choices. I swear I tell my son that every single day. Every day he leaves his house to go to school, I tell him, listen, follow instructions, and make good choices. Because we all have choices. And I'm thankful about the choices that I've made. I think I've made some pretty good ones. And I'm excited to see where they take me, And it's going to be an amazing year. I know that they've ran back the Clarity Act and ran back the Genius Act a little bit. That's nothing new. This is what they've been doing this whole entire time. So there shouldn't be any surprise whatsoever. I hope no one's upset. I hope not. And I also want you all to think about that I Trust Capital that Melissa talked about yesterday with Simon Says, with Byron Nielsen from I Trust Capital. It's a great way for people to be able to dip their toe into crypto, but to be able to do it tax-free. You get an IRA with I Trust Capital, you'll be able to trade cryptocurrencies tax-free. Just to let you know. If you didn't know, now you know. And I think that's a boon for us. It's one of the things that I know that, the upper echelon are already doing. So from that vantage point, I think that's pretty awesome. I do. I think that's pretty daggone awesome. And I'm glad that Melissa was able to get them onto her show so that they could explain it to us and have it to where we're able to get these things done as well. So I definitely would love for you to check that out on Dip a Toe. It was on last night. It is on YouTube as well as on IMU TV, and then also on the X app. It live streamed to all of those platforms, as well as Rumble and and other places as well. Also, if you haven't gotten a chance, check me out on either Keda1211 or Keda's Brew TV. I also have my website, kedasbrew.com, where you can find beef tallow products, the beard balm and beard oil. You can find the soap there. And I have all 6 of the different kinds of beef tallow mixes that I have. 3 are for people that have regular to dry skin, and then 3 are also for those that have problem skin, like things like eczema, psoriasis, things of that nature. So if you are interested, please check out kedasbrew.com. It's exactly how it sounds, KEDASBREW.com. And check it out. I've got all kinds of cool stuff. Soon I'll be bringing some more items onto the website. If you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm very receptive and I'm very responsive. And I'm hoping that you all have the most amazing night. For the 70 people that decided to come and hang out with us, I thank you. To all of the people that are in the audience, Steak and Bake Bully, Thunderbird Media, World Media, and also Miss Queen of the Nile. I love you so, so much, sis. I'm sorry that I didn't shout you out earlier. Miss World Be Free. I love you so, so much, as always. And I hope that you all are going to have the most amazing night. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And I'll check y'all on the next one.
Come get to know your girl. There's a lot going on in her world. There's enough for you to get a view
of everything that's Keda's Brew.
From health, beauty, food, and crypto, these are the things you'll get to know. So come find the brew
that's right for you, and you'll know what to do. Come get to know your girl. There's a lot going on in her world. There's enough for you to get a view of everything that's Keda's Brew. Keda's Brew will change your perspective, give you food for thought in the right direction, show you things to move the scale and help you out with every detail.
Change your perspective, give you food for thought in the right direction,
show you things to move the scale and help you out with every detail.
Come on, get to know your girl.
Come on, get
yeah.
Come on, get to know your girl.